does that say about our economic future? It's now time to wheel in DATUK Dr. A.T. KUMARARAJAH, Council Member at the NCCIM. A.T., thanks for joining us once again. Give us a peek. How is Malaysia's economic performance right now compared to other countries in the region in terms of forecast for 2023?
2023, I mean, we have already had a very, very good year. We'll probably end up in the north of 6%, closer to 7% in terms of our performance for 2022. But the whole world, especially the ASEAN economies, which are very trade-based and very linked to the other Asia-Pacific economies, probably going to have a lot of trade headwinds in 2023. If you compare all the projections that have come out, including for Malaysia, Malaysia comes up probably in the top 20%, top 30% of the economies, because primarily we have got a good footing, good baseline from 2022 going into 2023. The forecast for 2023 for Malaysia tends to be, say, IMF has forecasted as somewhere at about 4.5%. For the whole Asia-Pacific, even the ASEAN region, the forecast is at 4%. Mind you, Jessy, that this forecast is actually way below the average for the last 2 decades. The last 20 years, the ASEAN region has performed 5.5%. So which means, as it is, the ASEAN region is going to go into a slowdown. We're probably not in recession state, but definitely Malaysia, considering our other countries, we are going to outperform Singapore if by at least percentage twice their number. South Asian economies, definitely they are the ones who are lifting the numbers. We look at India, Bangladesh, they are really growing out. Vietnam, especially in ASEAN, is going to also have about 6%. It is all dependent on also how much China is going to come out, how fast it is going to come out, and that whether that revenge spending and revenge economy is really going to have telltale in terms of 2023. So 2023, we are very cautious.
We are below average, 80. That's a 4.5% compared to our neighbours around the region. What will be the key drivers, you would say, of economic growth for the country here in 2023?
So I think that's where our new economic minister, YB Rafizi, has actually come out to say, look, we want to have high impact programs. I think Malaysia has, I would say, not sleeping on it, but has probably a lot of changes, especially in the governmental side in terms of policy directions. And I think once we get the policy directions right, a focus to high impact programs, as he calls it, or the high income economy, as we've already been coining this word for quite a while, that we probably have to have our focus to say, look, these are the areas that Malaysia wants to concentrate. It is high knowledge, high value, high innovation kind of stuff. Not so much labor-centric. So as you know that we are already having a lot of labor shortages, they are probably going to address the short term, but we must have very clear policy trajectories which will take our economy forward in the next 10 years. And that ties into a lot that, in fact, we have a very small nation in terms of size, but we actually punch above our weight in terms of global trade. And in global trade, I think RCEP has already been in place for about now 9 months, since March this year. CPTPP, the word is out there, we have already ratified it, but CPTPP is something that must happen. I think there's a lot of pushback now, especially with the new minister in place, but I think he has got both the latitude and breadth to actually move this forward. So good policy directions, focus on areas that really can lift our economy, especially the export sectors, and ratification of all these global trade agreements will probably put us in good standing for the next.
So some work is left to be done, but there are some low-hanging fruits there as well.
Oh, yes. Especially for the new ministers and the new cabinet. I think there's a lot of goodwill in our Prime Minister. I think that goodwill should translate to good trade numbers and especially growth in the economies. And policy directions, and that's something that I think we have lacking for a while. We've always, made a direction and then U-turn. So even CPTPP, for whatever that is, that cost-benefit analysis done by MITI shows that we are in positive territory. Government procurement, even in terms of affirmative policies, especially the Bumiputera policies, I think there is no issues. We can navigate around that, but overall, the country tends to benefit. And if you look at RCEP, the cost-benefit analysis done by MITI says Malaysia is one of the largest beneficiaries among the other 15 trading nations. Even in CPTPP, we are late, but we probably gain all these benefits by the year 2030.
Right. Good intention, goodwill must translate into good trade. I like that, AT. We'll check in with you again. Till then, take care. It's time for a quick break right now. When I come back, I speak to ALLIDA Muhammad Said on an awareness campaign on rare diseases here in Malaysia, and of course, a fundraising event as well for MRDS. That comes on right after this break, right here on The Brief, Bernama TV. Well, if you've been scrolling social media, have you come across this hashtag? Hashtag Rare Disease 100 km Challenge. Well, at this time, I'd like to bring in ALLIDA Muhammad Said, the VP of the Malaysian Rare Disorders Society, to tell us a little bit more about this hashtag and this very simple challenge that is for a good cause. ALLIDA, thanks for doing this. Thanks for being with us. Let's begin with this. What is the 100 kilometer challenge, and why did you come up with the challenge? Even tell us a little bit more about how trending this hashtag has been, ALLIDA.
Hi, I'm Jessy. Firstly, thank you, Bernama TV, for your continuous support to the rare disease community in Malaysia. And today, again, for us to promote, advertise our latest awareness campaign and fundraising for Malaysian Rare Disorder Society. So it is a challenge to create public awareness on rare diseases in general, and also to raise funds for the Malaysian Rare Disorder Society. And the reason this challenge ran for about a year, and we kicked it off last Merdeka Day this year, and it is to run for a year. Now, the activities here is very simple. This challenge can involve any physical activities. It can be running, walking, cycling, hiking, even using for wheelchair users, as long as you complete a 100 kilometer distance or equivalent. And the beauty is we can do it individually or as a group. As in if you have like 5 people, each one clocking 20 kilometers, and then you can easily get that, easily obtain the 100 kilometer. And that's to be done in 10 weeks.
Can be involved, friends can be involved, family, and everyone can clock in as many km as they possibly can, so that accumulatively you could reach 100 kilometers.
Exactly, because RD family is not just in Malaysia, but also around the globe. So we have family members, for example, the RD family reside in Malaysia, but the rest of the family also who wants to contribute to RD community lives elsewhere. So collectively, the family can submit and participate, right?
And you know this is through to the word of being inclusive, so that everyone can be part of that, because a lot of times our families and loved ones are not with us. They are across borders, what more during a pandemic and so on.
Right.
And so this is a really kind approach to that.
Yes, that's right. And then, in fact, not just families, we also will encourage corporate companies who want to include as part of the CSR project to run, to take away with this campaign and do it and inculcate, inclusive spirit among the workers. Right. So this is one example. It's to be done as no fees, to be done in 10 weeks, and you can do it at your own time anywhere. So some of the pictures shown here are families. This is one in Belfast. For a family who actually conducted whether it's rain or shine or in cold weather in Belfast. And this particular one here is Katina, again with a family with multi activities, not just swimming, but also swimming, walking and cycling, and even I think the husband is doing a rollerblading. So it can be any mix and match, no pressure, no stress. You can do what you're good at, and without having to follow not just
Yeah, mix and match, and so everyone can be part of the bigger picture for a good cause.
That's right.
You also mentioned that you of course will need more awareness from the people. What else do you need in terms of help from the public?
First and foremost from the public is awareness. Of course, no doubt, the objective is also to raise funds for Malaysian Rare Disorder Society, which runs mainly by parents from the RD community and volunteering. And for the society, which has been around for the last 2 decades, we have done so much in trying to increase public awareness, and yet more can be done. to increase awareness, and with awareness, the public probably are more willing to donate and to support our causes, not just in terms of financial, but also in terms of promoting the various campaigns that we have, and also to volunteer. We do really want a lot of volunteers to execute and to implement our program, which include in trying to increase reach out across the country. We have been having members around the country, but we are in the process of trying to enhance our presence in various part of the country. Like, for example, we have used this challenge itself to work with the northern region, referring to Perak, Perlis, Kedah and Pulau Pinang area, and working with the genetic professionals, health professionals in the area, and also the family. So we use this challenge as one tool to act that to achieve that target, right? And next is, of course, trying to reach out to Sabah and Sarawak. As you can see, also I think we have one group of youth who has actually climbed Mount Kinabalu and dedicate their hike to promote the cause of RD community. So, and this is a ever-going a program to actually increase our reach in the country. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, the RD Society does do a lot of work on the ground, as well as try to use social media. I have come across a lot of that articles and updates as well. But how else would you go out and share this information? One that I think everyone deserves and needs to know, needs to learn about. In other words, how does RD Society work to educate the public about the challenges and needs of individuals living with rare diseases, so that we can be an inclusive community?
Okay, having a session like this with Bernama on electronic media is one example, where we continue to talk about the RD community, where we celebrate different RD type from time to time, and that's one. And also we use our youth platform a lot. That is what we call WAULA, the Rare Catalogue, and also art, right? These are the youth platform where we, if I can talk about Rare Catalogue, for example, it came out during the pandemic, where it is a platform with at least 30 vendors from the RD community, which sells the services and products, and we use this as to educate the public that we are not just about asking sympathy. Instead is empathy, where we would want the public to join hand with us to develop and empower our youth, for example, using these platforms. We also use a WAULA platform. That is one platform where parents and also individuals go out in the public to talk about their conditions at various events along the year. Right. So, and the other one is, of course, art. Art is also art by the rare disease. We also join exhibitions. So these are the, what is it, subtle way, but one way to actually to show that we are in action. We're not just out here to ask for donation. We actually need volunteers, and we actually need support, and we actually need a lot of energy actually to empower our programs. Yeah. What
MRDS does is they walk the talk. So kudos to you and the entire RD Society, and of course, volunteers and so on and so forth. Empathy and empowerment, we will keep that in mind. Thank you so much, ALLIDA, and we'll be checking in with you soon. ALLIDA Muhammad Said, the VP of the Malaysian Rare Disorders Society. That wraps up this edition of The Brief. Thanks for being with me. I'm Jessy Chahal. Coming up shortly is the Bulletin Bernama at 1 p.m. Stay tuned.